Hey everyone, this is Kenny Cummins here, and I like to call this the Southwest R&B edition of the show. This is the first I've done it, and hopefully it won't be the last because there's a lot of talent all over the world. But this is all about the Southwest in these United States. You know what I mean? So joining me is a lady from Arizona, from the desert, nice warm weather, and so the cactus and things of that nature. I first heard of this woman through a fellow Arizona R&B artist by the name of Dre's Music. They did a collaboration project together called Love Takeover Volume 1. And according to Mr. Music, Volume 2 is on the way. And
Absolutely.
just recently, she released her latest solo singer called Too Deep. So joining me at this time is Laprè, and
Yes.
with me right now. How's it going?
Hi, it's going. Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate you being on. Good to have this chat with you and learn about your journey and what's gotten you into this point. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about the collaboration project with Dress, which has become a regular. You two have been regulars on the Music Monday.
Wow, that's
For
amazing.
so I pretty much played almost the entire EP since it was released. So
That's dope.
uh, so before we get that, let's start from the beginning. What got you into music?
Well, I've always been involved with music since I was young, about like 8 or 9, but really seeing my family involved in it, my uncles, my mom, they've always been involved with music. They had me in church, singing. I started out as a church mouse, and then I went from church to international choir at school. And so I've always just been singing, always like in percussion, jazz band. I've always been musical. But I really didn't start to like take it seriously, like as far as like, trying to hone in and advance my artistry until like 2017, until after I graduated and I had the opportunity to kind of just focus on music solely. And so yeah, music has always been a part of me. It's always been a part of my life.
So you talk about the background, going to church, going through the choir, going and singing. Obviously, it's good to have that experience early, just singing in front
Yeah.
of a crowd,
Yeah.
regardless of what the path that you go through.
Yeah.
But just getting that feel, singing in front of a crowd, or in this case, the congregation. I'm a former pastor kid.
Yeah.
I sang in front of the choir myself, but I wasn't
Nice.
necessarily. I wasn't necessarily. I wasn't. I was more of a background. I wasn't a lead singer. I love. If you want me to do a little harmony, let's do that. But as far as lead, I'm not that guy. So at singing, I just didn't. I didn't have the lungs. I just didn't have the confidence. It just wasn't for me at the end of the day. So thank goodness broadcasting fell on my lap, and I went with that route. But so
Yeah.
who
Church
would
has,
yeah, so
yeah.
who are some of your influences as far as fellow artists that kind of got you leaning towards that music path even more?
For me, it was definitely a lot of like artists that are like legends now. Alicia Keys, Usher, Jill Scott, definitely like Lauryn Hill. I mean, if you could kind of tell, based off of the versatility that I do with like rapping and singing.
Mm.
Flowetry. I was in a flowetry when I was younger. Who else? I mean, my mom had me listening to a lot. Jamie Foxx, I think, was big that when I was like younger coming up. It was a lot of people that like kind of have that versatile of like singing, dancing, just all around entertainment. But definitely Alicia Keys and Usher was like my top two coming up as like a child, like just listening to that album, them first two albums that they first dropped, like the Confessions album, and then that first album that Alicia Keys dropped that had a Diary and Fallen on it. You know, like just legends. And so yeah, and I didn't say it, but I'm born in Chicago, and so definitely being in Chicago, that definitely helped my sound, like in general, just being growing up in there for a little bit and then coming to AZ and getting like the best of both worlds. I feel like that has helped as well. And so
Yeah. I was just listening to Alicia Keys' debut album just a few
really,
weeks ago.
yes,
It's just to because that's timeless music right there, and
absolutely,
just to see how far she has come since then. You know, she
really,
went the mainstream route, big major label, obviously, Crucial Keys.
yes.
I like the girlfriend joint with JD through the
Mhm.
spin on the ODB sample, the OBD sample, and her and the piano. That was perfect. That was
Listen,
perfect.
legend,
So yeah, Miss, and now she's an independent artist now, and,
right?
and she really getting a chance to fully express herself more with no one telling her what she can and can't do. This is
Yeah,
her now. So
that's
Miss
amazing.
Keys and Usher, yeah, he was a baby boy when he
He
got
was.
started. You know, that I remember the first song he did, and he must have been 14, 15 years old, or maybe
Yeah,
younger than that. And now he done grown.
grown, still and
My
still just
Way,
a legend.
8701,
Yeah.
Confessions. You
Yes.
know, his catalog is right up there with one of the best,
Mm-hmm.
um, as far as R&B, as far as that concerned. And I am getting Long Hill vibes from you,
Thank you.
with
Yeah.
the hair and your versatility as an artist. So
Thank
I
you.
could definitely see the influence there as well. So you mentioned the Chicago side of things. So what was that like going from the windy city all the way to the desert? What was that like?
Well, honestly, I don't really remember too much about the transition because I was younger when I moved out here. So I've been out in AZ for about like 10 years now. So pretty much half of my life. I'm only 23. And so yeah, I was in Chicago for about my first 5 or 6 years. And so I mean, and I was going back and forth, but for the most part, it was cool. Like I said, it was like having the best of both worlds, being able to go back and forth, to my hometown and then building a new home with all these new people, different kinds of people, but then still having that culture from Chicago, like it was like a mix, because I love Arizona too. So, it's I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, Arizona, you know, there's a perception of Arizona, cactus, warm weather.
Yeah.
For people like myself that hasn't been to Arizona, how would you describe Arizona as far as atmosphere or just that state in general? How would you describe Arizona to people like myself that hasn't been there?
How would I describe it? Just don't come during the summer. That's all I gotta say. Don't come during the summer. And then it's great. I love it. Honestly, there's so many like sites to see here that I myself haven't even gotten a chance to explore. There's so many like just different places out here. And the thing I like about it, because I'm like particular on like natural disasters, we don't really have too many, too much to worry about other than like monsoons or anything. So the heat is like the worst thing about Arizona. But as far as like the people, I mean, they decent people. At one point, I feel like economy wise, like market wise, I feel like we was like doing pretty good before COVID hit. And so I feel like to raise a family here, start a business, this is definitely like a good like base to like be at, versus like any other like stay is so busy. You got all these people, is expensive as hell, like I think AZ is like a perfect like middle ground home to be at, like personally.
I could definitely see that middle
Yeah.
ground type of feel. And
Yeah.
so if you are into warm weather, if you can contain the 100 plus, not just 100, because I look at the weather report, weather, from, not just here in Kentucky, which is where
Yeah.
I currently reside, but I look at Arizona. I'm trying to see the triple digits, and it's no joke,
Yeah,
obviously.
nah.
So
Don't
you
come
bet,
out here during the summer.
no,
Just wait.
yeah, yeah, just wait till things cool off. So um, I'm joined with Laprè here on the show. Talk about this collaboration project with yourself and Dress Music. I talked to him about a month or two ago. Very cool dude. How did you two met? What led y'all to do this collaboration project?
So how did me and Drace meet? So I think it was a mutual friend of ours. They were doing music and they like were showing me Dre's music at the time and was like, yo, you gotta collab with them. You need to hear this person. And I got to hear their stuff and I was like, okay, cool. And then we followed each other. And that was in back what I think 2018, 2019 is when we like started like follow like first started following each other on Instagram. Then 2020, like a year later, we didn't connect to like a whole year later. And then finally got together and started working on music like here and there. So we finally got to meet each other for like that year, got to know each other for a year, went through the motions, and then like another couple years passed. I hit her up and was like, hey, look, this is what I want to do. And she was like, yeah, come on, come over. And from there, I think we cut Love Takeover within like 3 hours, like when we first like met. And so I was just like, from there, I mean, because it was not like first met, but like when we first like reconnected, we cut that within that 3 hours. And from there, we were like, yeah, we got to do an EP. And it's always been an idea. Like we've always had the idea to work with one another. It's just like with timing in our schedule, it just never happened. And so we just kind of let time do its thing, and then finally came together and made Love Take Over, the song, the actual song by itself within that night. And we were like, wow, we were so amazed by how good it came out. We were like, we gotta keep going with the EP. And so, came up with the EP. I think we cut the EP within like a month. And yeah, we had it drop within the next month, and then had the music video out within the next month. And Dre, that's really like my twin. Her birthday is literally the day before mine. Her birthday is November 15th, mine is the 16th. And so that's why I feel like it was so easy for us to like collab and get along, because we already had that commonality of us both being Scorpios and our birthday being right next to each other. And so that was another thing where he was like, okay, cool, we can connect on that. We both Scorpios. And then that's how we kind of tried to like make the vibe of the EP, based off of a Scorpio's world, like what we go through emotionally, when we're in love and just mentally, all these things. So we kind of tried to touch on all those aspects of love with the EP, which is why it's called Love Takeover. And so yeah, that's pretty much how it came about. And definitely we got a volume 2 on the way for sure. For sure.
Yeah, Love Takeover Volume One definitely is a vibe. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
and I think the latest song that I played was "Why the Crash." Um, I played that this past Monday. Yeah, I played
Yeah.
it this past Monday, and I did tag you in it. So I
Yes.
love the chemistry between you both. And I'm very excited that y'all have considered working on Volume 2. And I also heard that Dress is working on a Scorpio project as well. So
Yes.
keeping it busy
Got a lot of
going
things.
into 2023,
Yeah.
obviously. So go stream it, go buy it, go purchase it. Love Takeover Volume One,
Thank you.
Laprè Dress is out right now. Go support that project. Shout
Thank
out to
you.
the Scorpios. Seriously. Uh,
Yay.
I'm a Cancer. My birthday
Hey,
is in June.
water sign. You still
You
a
know what I'm
water
saying?
sign.
Water sign. I can do that. I can do that. So go get Love Takeover Volume 1. Volume 2 is coming. Until
Yes,
then, go keep the streams going, keep the spins going for
yes.
Volume 1. Keep that going, and they'll get Volume 2 out when timing is right, obviously. So, um, Too Deep. Let's get to that track. You released that just last week. That's your
Yes.
latest solo single. Talk about recording that particular song.
Oh, okay. So Tootie, the funny part is that's actually an old song that me and Dre, like one of our very first songs that me and Dre worked on together. And originally I wrote the chorus, I wrote like the first verse, and I mean I just think that we ended up just like, disconnecting from it. And I produced beats. I was working on a beat for Too Deep, the current beat for Too Deep, and I was singing the song to it. Hit up Drace and was like, "Look, I want to take this song. I want to. Oh, this is what I want to do with it. This is what I want to do with it." And Drace, she was like, You got my full support." And I went in the studio, revamped it, had my uncle hop on it, add some soulful keys to it, which just made my whole life, him being like one of my biggest inspirations since I was a child, having him come on and add the keys on it just put a whole different soul feel vibe to it. And yeah, we got it. It was easy. We got it mixed, mastered, all within 2-3 weeks, and had the song out. By the end of the month, it was a really easy process, and it was definitely fun because since COVID hit, I've been at home recording a lot, and so with this one, I wanted to get in the studio and try to change up my environment. And I think because it's been so long since I've been in the studio, you could kind of tell on 2D because I just had this fire on it versus my other tracks. Like it was just like I was so excited to be in the studio, and so it was really fun making this track. I love it. It's so dear to me having Drace a part of it from the beginning, having my uncle a part of it, now, and being that I produced it now, like it's just I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, Too Deep. It's definitely self-explanatory, especially if you hear the song from start to finish. It speaks volumes, literally.
Mhm.
Like you just get in the mood once you hear that song. So
Thank you.
uh yeah, just putting it out there. Too Deep from Laprè just released last week. That's
October 1st.
available. That's available on all the platforms right now. Go
Yes.
check that out. You mentioned you do beats.
Yes.
So let's get the producer side of things. Talk about you as a producer. Like what's the mindset? Like what gets you inspired as far as making beats?
Um, I started making beats, I want to say back in 2017, and it's actually different because I'm actually able to play the piano, play the drums, and actually play these instruments. So for a minute, I was just experimenting, playing on my piano and whatnot, and kind of just making beats, not really doing nothing with it. And I would either be on Logic, I would be on Soundtrap. I tried FL for a while, just trying all these different DAW systems, trying to learn how to make beats. So I use like different ones every single time, but it really doesn't matter. I was kind of using it for a coping mechanism for a while, when I would, feel a strong emotion, I would go open my laptop and then just come up with a melody and then just start adding on to it and then come back to it. Like my file is filled with beats, based off of beats that I started based off of emotion, And I think well, let me see. My first beat that I produced was on my sophomore EP. My first EP that I have out nonstop, I executive produced it with my main producer, Nove the Zoner. And my second EP, I wanted to get personal. So I have 4 tracks on there that I produced: No More Love, Better Days, Be There, and The Way I Like It. And then my last song, Elevate, which is a rap song. It wasn't produced by me, but that's added on there. Now with Love Takeover, I did produce all 6 beats on that project as well. And so that was kind of like my debut, was kind of like, okay, other people are using my beats. And mind you, there are other artists who have already purchased my beats, and have them out on platforms, you know. And so it was I'm kind of more low key with the producer thing, just because I'm still trying to like figure out the business aspect of it, and you know, I just want to, it's still something I'm still like trying to like work on being more present and open about. But like, I, people who know me, they know I make beats, and I do point it out there because I have songs that are out on all platforms that I produce, like, you know, Love Take Over, my first EP, and Too Deep. And so, um, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just kind of a little background as far as like the producing thing.
Yeah, I want to say shout out to all the ladies that's in the studio making these beats. Um,
Yes.
it's the guys. Shout out to y'all. Y'all do y'all thing. Respect. Props, things of that nature. Ladies, they can do more than just sing and rap. They can do other things
Thank
to engineer, mix,
you.
master,
Hmm.
um, all that. They can do that, and Laprè here is a prime example. So definitely, not just mainstream, but independently. I definitely want to see more female producers get recognition for their contributions, not just to hip hop, but just music in general.
I agree.
Because there's a lot of talented females that's doing more than just singing and rapping. They doing all the things that people are used to seeing guys do. So it's definitely something that needs to be addressed, and hopefully more females will get more the flowers, get that same energy that the guys do.
I
Um,
appreciate that. Yeah,
so yeah, so
agreed.
I'll definitely leave it at that. It is so good to chat with you, Laprè. Such a cool name. Now that I have pronounced it correctly,
Thank you.
um, go check out Love Takeover Volume One from Laprè and Dress, and go check out her latest soul single, Too Deep. Now that we know she produced the beat and she produced the entire Love Takeover project, go stream all that and look out for Laprè for more music to come from her in the coming months and next year as well. So good to chat with you all the way from the desert, Chicago. Um, Born and raised, residing in AZ. So shout out to the AZ. Hope everybody's staying cool, even when we in the fall right now. Thank you so much, Laprè. Great chatting with you.
Thank you for having me, and you take care. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be on your platform. Thank you.
I'm honored to have you. You're like the first female producer I got on the show, so the
Hey.
honor is all mine. So you take care of yourself. You have a good night.
It's all love. You too.
All right. All right.